I do believe we are live, and I'm hiding off camera at the moment, and I do mean to miss the... I've tidied up my desk. Right, I will keep an eye on the live chat on the iPad over there to one side. Number one, thank you for joining me here this evening. This is recorded live, so we'll leave all screw-ups in, because I have no option to edit them out. If you can hear me nice and clearly, can you please let me know in the live chat which goes along with this episode. Also note, this is the recorded version, so if you can hear me nice and clearly, happy days, no need to let me know. And of course, if you have any questions as well, please just ask. And with that said, I'm going to assume things are working. In this box, we've got our HobbyKing order, which was paid out of my own pocket, and I am just keeping an eye on the chat. Again, if you can let me know the audio is nice and clear for me, that would be fantastic. This order was paid out of my own money. In here, I'm expecting to find a couple of lipos, hence the really cool sticker. That sticker there, you can tell when it's going to be happy days when you get a sticker like that. Thank you, everybody. On the live chat saying the sound is good. I do really appreciate that. And I'd like to say a howdy to Jake, Rotate Master, Camel, RC Aviation. Who else we got there? We got Oracliffe, Philip, Jay Jones, Raymond, RC Speed Racers, Afternoon. Slappy is on as well. Apologies if I'm not mentioning your name. I will keep half an eye on the chat in the background. Now, before we go and open this box, I would like to, number one, say thank you to everybody who voted yes for the Mini Skyhunter. And I'd also like to say thank you to everybody who said no to the Mini Skyhunter, because the story behind this one is that I put a vote up about doing a Mini Skyhunter. Who was it? James Heard in the Facebook group had mentioned about he was having so much fun with his, and I'd always wanted one of these mini ones because I got a micro one down there, really good fun, but I did fancy a mini one. But the thing is that in the community vote is that what we had was we had a vote where we had something like 34 responses for yes and almost the same amount of responses for no. And I was thinking about this like after we done that RC coffee chat, thinking, well, we had that many votes for yes, but we had that many votes for no. So then I stuck up a vote for the full-size Skyhunter, and that was pretty much unanimous across the board. That, ladies and gents, we will be getting a full-size Skyhunter in the near future. So I will be keeping an eye on the chat in the left hand on my iPad. It'll be in there on your screen, and I'm having a look across at the desktop. I need to see which way I need to walk, so apologies, that's me kicking the box underneath the desk. With that said, let's get this box open and see what we've got in here. Now, I do need to go careful because there are lipos, so I will be going very, very gingerly with the old knife. And that's a big tip for you as well. If you know you've got lipos in the box, do go careful because when they go, they go. So let's open this one up and see what we got in there. Yes, Slappy, I've literally just realised that my face is hidden behind the chat screen. Apologies. I did have a bit of a panic over getting the webcam sorted out. So I wonder if I can just move that to the right. Like I said, this is recorded live, so I get to leave all my screw-ups in. So which way round do we want that? Yeah, like that. That's probably better. No, I've done that the wrong way. It's a little bit awkward because the amount of stuff I've got here on the desk and here on the floor. That's better. There we go. Right, I'm trying not to kill myself. And thank you for the feedback as well. I really do appreciate that. Right, let's get her open. Judging by the weight down the other end of the box, we got some other goodies down there, which we do. So apologies, mangoes in box. What's we got in here? I think that's just packaging in here. Yeah, just packaging. Right. Let's get that out of the way. Right, let's start with the accessories first. Now, none of these parts were actually bought for this model. Oh, actually, I'd say that I did buy a 60 amp ESC, but that no, that was for the FG36 down there on the table. RC Aviation says, are you reviewing the DTS 220 soon? No idea. Stick a link to it in the Facebook group. We'll take a look and see if it's something which is up our street. So let's have a quick look at some of the goodies which I've received now. I have had a massive shortage on 7 and 8 inch props lately. So we've got a collection of propellers, 7x4.5, 7x5, 7x5. These are the, I think they're TBS ones. 7x4. Oh, they're nice. Which ones are those? Oh, 8x6. I don't know how well you're going to be able to see them on there. They're black ABS plastic by the looks of it. I don't know if they've got glass fibre or anything in them. But they do look pretty damn sturdy, which you've all seen my flying, so we need that. Also, I've got one of the blue HobbyKing. I think I ordered 2. Yeah, I've ordered 2. I'll show you these. I do actually rate them quite a lot, actually. I've used them in loads of my models. The blue brick ones. They do work really, really well. And I haven't blown one of those up yet. The 60 amp ones, I've killed 2 of those. One of them I did in the, what was it? The... it was the Wing Z84, which I was flying on 4S with, what was it, the D28, 26, 2200 kV motor, and I put it in the ground at full speed. There is a video of that over on the YouTube channel for that. I was there on the desk repairing it, and I noticed both of the servos were dead. So I didn't think it would be the ESC, so I put brand new servos in, and they both fried instantly. And I was like, oh no. It was the... ESC, which had melted itself from the impact, so it wasn't a faulty product per se, it was faulty due to my actions. And some more 7 inch props, more 8x6, just some grey aero, whatever they're called, propellers. As far as, oh, and also I do rate these, again, just from my personal experience and under my desk, I do run those Turnigy Plush 100 amp ESCs. I run those in the Texumo. Now you may be wondering, Matt, why are you running a 100 amp ESC in a Texumo? Well, the short answer to that is that you try running a Texumo with, what is it? It's a 1400 kV 3536 motor. I've got one Texumo there in the background with a 9x6 prop, which we run it on 3S. And we've got one over there with an 8x6 prop, which we run on 4S. And it's got to be getting to about, I don't know, 90, 100 miles an hour, something like that. It's crazy. Now, if you want torque roll, do that to your Texumo. That's crazy. But the point where I was going, the Turnigy Plush, that's a 60 amp one. I've bought that on purpose for the FG36 race wing, which I've got down there, which I'm building at the moment. And I am just going to pause to have a look at your chat. Jay Jones says, are you going to make the box fly for this one? Well, let's hope that it's not a POS. Now, those of you which don't know where that comment has come from, I ordered the Decathlon Scout, which is down there in the mess, which was on a HobbyKing deal for 40 quid, and it really was an absolute POS. And one of the challenges which we did live previously, which really didn't go very well, is that I've built a biplane out of the box, because I reckon the box can fly better than the Decathlon Scout, because literally it goes up into the air, you put a little bit of aileron movement in it, and it'll bank round, tip stalk, and go straight in the ground. And it does it every single time. I've flown that model 4 times. Every single time it's done exactly the same. We've also got, coming back onto topic, we've got some batteries here as well. Now, I know that Shane is going to be ashamed of me, and Shane, you know who you are. I did plump for some of the cheap Zippy 4S packs. That is a 25C pack. And the reason why I've gone for the cheaper options is, number one, is that they were more than a third of the price compared to the Graphenes or some of the higher C batteries. And the other view which I thought on them is because they cost $10 when they puff, and apparently Shane reckons that when they puff you can then they'll turn into a big circle. There's another 25C, so I bought basically 2 of those for half the price of a higher C one, and the maths work out. They should be fine for at least a couple of the models here, so I'll use them as trainer batteries, and I'll go on and get some decent high C rating ones, especially when the EFX Extra comes out, which many of you know that I'm in love with the EFX Extra, but it's not out yet. Oh, and a 35C. Oops, that's a 2-cell. Pants. I'll keep the packaging. I've got no idea. Oh, I could turn that into a battery pack for the Fat Shark. So, oops a daisy, I've made a mistake on the order on that one. Right, let's clear this desk off. And I will put those, because they've got ESCs in there, I'll put them down to one side. And let's get on to today's main topic, which is the Mini Skyhunter. Now, by the looks of it, the mould for this one is available for other companies as well. So it's not just HobbyKing, which has got the mini one. I think Ready Made RC. I've got one of these as well. So the box looks like it's in good shape. And I'm sure we've all seen some of the boxes which I've unboxed there. They've not been in a good state. Paul Ham says, never had a puppy zippy, got I think you mean puffy, yeah, sorry fella, zippy. I've got loads of them. I've got a collection of zippy batteries here. I've been really impressed, but honestly that 2S one was obviously a mistake on my part. I must have thought it was a 4S, so my bad. Right, musical box. Let's open this one up and see what we got inside. There we go, landed. We get a big sheet of stickers. Happy days. To be honest, I don't normally put stickers on models, so they can go over there. We get a manual, and I'm well renowned for reading the manual. What I'm really looking for is the C of G, which is actually quite a nice manual. So I'm here having a nose on the manual. That's pretty matte proof. What do you reckon on that? Can you see that? Let me move that there. That looks pretty matte proof. I think I might be able to build this one. Happy days. Let me file that over there somewhere. That's not what I was expecting. That's a lot bigger. I've never seen one of these before. I've obviously seen photographs and stuff like that, but normally it's like just the model rather than the actual size. Look at the size of the hold on that. That's way bigger than what I was expecting. And I really wish I could get down there and get my micro Skyhunter and show you the size comparison. But you'll have to take my word for it. That's about 4 times as big as my micro Skyhunter. Nice big shelf inside. How did we get this lid? Nice decent magnet on the front. We got a plywood frame on the bottom. There, so we've got a nice plywood base on the bottom. I do find it annoying that they have been glued in the... Oh no, they haven't. I take that back. I retract that statement. There is a plywood tray, which I'm just looking over there to see if you can see on the camera. There we go. There is a plywood tray back up here. I will be loading mine up with a Eagle Tree Vector in there, and I will be putting... Well, I can tell you point blank, we'll be able to fit one of those multi-star 4S battery packs in there. It is, yeah, decent size to say the least. And I'm glad they didn't glue that little platform in there as well, because we had the same issue with the micro Skyhunter, that you have to really ram that battery quite far back into the main part of the fuselage so you hit the CG point. So that's my biggest unknown for this model. Is around the CG for the type of the battery which I want to run in there. I am not entirely... Again, you're not going to be able to see this on here, so you're going to have to take my word for it. I'll put a photo in the Facebook group. I'm not entirely sold on their gluing. And yeah, you won't be able to see this. But up here, the glue joint all the way through, which goes round, is that will flex apart. And I can feel it. Yeah, right. I will be re-gluing those joints myself. And also I will laminate the hold as well, so even if we do end up with a cracked joint back here, at least I know that we've got like a wrap around it, so that will tighten her up. Nice idea having the hand grips up underneath, something which we don't need for the Micro Skyhunter, because it's just a tiny little fuselage, you can lob it, and I've never been hit by a model before. Oh, the only model which nipped my fingers, literally just rattled around on the top of my fingers, was the, you wouldn't get this, the Mini Skywalker. Unbelievable. I literally had my hands right back on the tail boom, and I had a 6x3 prop on it, and it just nipped the top of my fingers. But anyway, looks pretty good so far. Not really happy about the gluing. I will go on and put, I'll make sure goop glue is safe for this model. In the motor mount around the back, I will put plenty of goop glue in there, and I can see there's a place for me to access that underneath there as well. I may even go on and go as far to break that glue joint around the model and do it myself. Now, that's me being me and particular. Now, there's another YouTube channel run by Jeff called 7Demo7, and there's a saying which has always stuck with me, which is that I would hate for a model to fall out of the sky because of my own stupidity. So I've identified I'm not happy with that glue joint, so I will go on and make sure I am really happy with that glue joint, especially if this is flying above my head, let alone someone else's head. So just a safety concern there. Looks like we've got a double lid on here. Bit disappointing. It's painted black on the top, but not black EPO foam underneath. So when we cut this to go in mounting or embedding a FPV camera, then, and that's not very on there very well. I know there's a magnet, but look, can you see how floppy it is? So that will probably end up getting glued on there, to be frankly honest. Yeah, seems straightforward so far. Yeah, look. If you stuck anything on that, that would fall off in the flight, so mine's going to end up getting glued on. Let's put that down there out of the way. What else do we get in the box? We get a spar, which really does look like glass fiber. The way to check these spars is that if you put a multimeter on them and set them to the resistance setting, if it shows a resistance of 0 ohms or very low ohms, you know it's carbon fiber, whereas glass fiber does not conduct electricity and will just show as OL or OC for open circuit. So we've got those there. We've got 2 more spars. Those not spars, they're tail booms. Ooh, decent quality plastic booms on the back. Happy days. Plenty of screw joints on there. You've got a pair. I don't know how well this is going to come out on the camera. If I just rotate that around, you'll see that it's a white plastic of some form. And we've got 2 screw holes or 2 bolt holes for both of the surfaces, not only for like the rudder fins, but also for the elevator fin at the back as well. Now, I'm just going to read out some of your comments at the moment. The bay is massive. Yeah, James. Oh, James. Thank you, sir. You're on. Yeah, the bay is massive in there. You would definitely get the Vector in there. You would even be able to fit in a decent sized battery on top of that too, and all the associated wiring as well. I'm quite impressed with that bay area, and I'm really glad that they left that piece of plywood loose for that little mezzanine or little floor which they've got inside. She Prodigy says, have HobbyKing reduced their price for shipping? Went to buy 3 times 5,000 milliamperes and shipping to EU to Ireland was 17 euros WTF. I'm sure you know what that means. No idea. I paid something like $8, I think, shipping for Parcel Force 24. So I ordered this yesterday morning. It did arrive this morning. I was supposed to be doing a live unboxing this morning, but frankly honest, I was up late last night, and by, I don't know, 9 o'clock this morning I was on that sofa and straight asleep. So and then it's been a busy day at work today. RC Speed Racer says not a bad size. Check the bottom of the wing for piss stains. Yeah, Jake will take a look at that. And those of you which don't know what that story is about, Jake received one of the new 3D Volts. And yeah, there was all these yellow stains on it. Very sorry state for what is and what definitely looks like a fantastic model. So Jake's got an RMA open at the moment with HobbyKing. James says, at 110 miles an hour, the magnets still hold fine. There is no way that magnet is going to hold that little black lid on. No way. I don't believe you. Obviously, you probably mean the main piece. That would stay on, that's for sure, because you've got the little clip which holds it down. Rick, howdy fella. James Hurd's just been put in. Ireland is international shipping from UK, cheaper from the EU. So I'm learning something as we go along. So James, thanks for popping that in there. Pastor Williams, thank you for joining us as well. So anyway, let's get back to the box itself. And Jake, I'm happy to announce there are no piss stains on the bottom of my wings. That's got to be classed as happy days. Now, some of you may have noticed the language here. To be frankly honest, this is flightline chat, okay? It is what it is. So just imagine we're on a flight line, having a chit chat, anything pretty much goes, except for the C word, which is commitment, by the way. Didn't want to clear, I just want to clear that one up. All right, we've got a pair of wings. We've got, ooh, they're cute. Let's get these out of the way. Taking a look at the wings, that is a fair old size. One of the issues which I've had with the Micro Skyhunter, and I really wish I could get down there to get it, but there's just cables everywhere, and I've locked boxes and stuff on top of it. One of my frustrations, and one of the things which I found with the Micro Skyhunter, is that you only have two screw holes on the back, which I personally reinforced with some plywood. And then these pieces actually on the Micro one, they lock into the top of the fuselage. And what I've noticed, and I'm sure you've seen it on some of the video footage which I've posted lately, is that if I'm banking round really, really hard, is that the fuselage, and you just get to see the run cam in the front of the view of the HD camera, and that's because the wings are like loose into the fuselage. So I've got a brand new fuselage for the Micro Skyhunter on the way to me, and yeah, considering the amount of abuse I've given the Micro one, that's held up really well. So looking like that, we get the spar to go straight through. Again, I'm glad that they've not glued that in for me. I would rather use my own glue to make sure that these parts are really stuck in. We had the Clouds XUAV, which I'm going to do a build over. I'm going to not do it live, but I'll do a recorded episode tonight on that one. And my biggest complaint about the XUAV Clouds was that they glued the bloody spars in. And because they glued the spars in, the little servo track lines where you run all your cabling, and again, remember, with all my builds, I always run the receiver and the video transmitter right out on the opposite side of the wings, was a complete ball bag to do. So I do have quite a long list to feed back to XUAV about the Clouds. But all my negatives aside, I'm sorry, I've gone off topic to the Clouds, but all my negatives aside for the Clouds, in the sky, such a big big puppy with a 1.8 meter wingspan, beautiful, absolutely beautiful to fly. And if you want to see a hair-raising moment, if you get on after this event's finished, if you check out my YouTube channel, type in Clouds, and you'll see a teaser for the Clouds Maiden. I may have underestimated the fun, which I said in the day after in the RC coffee chat about the Maiden. That was the scariest Maiden I have ever had. That was very, very scary. Anyway, let's get ourselves back onto the topic. The wings, nice and straightforward. So we've got plenty of plastic, and again, you definitely won't be able to see this on the camera, but I hope you get an idea. The plastic mounting for the booms down there really does go back far. I would say it goes back 3 inches into the wing, so that's nice. Again, to be frankly honest, I didn't really trust anybody else's gluing, so you know full well that's going to have some glue to go down there. The elevon hinges are stiffer. Yeah, nice and stiff. I'm just flexing them gently. You saw me do that very gently, get some small movements in, and now I'm moving up to big movements. I will put some blendum tape down now. I don't use laminate for hinges I will cut the laminate short, well, cut it so we get a nice finish, and then I'll put some blender tape down there. There isn't a carbon rod or any strengthening in the actual aileron itself, but to be frankly honest, I don't think it really needs it. Just turning it up to the light. We have a little servo bay. I think that's meant for a little 5-gram servo. A 5-gram servo will not be going in there. I will be putting my own, 12-gram servos in there, some metal geared ones. Now I'll either be using the Tower Pro ones, super cheap, or I'm pretty sure I bought some spare servos for this as well, because I knew it was coming. And I know I've got some here on the side, some Corona 939, the metal geared ones, and I also know that they run on 6 volts as well, so happy days. So wings, they look good. I like the mountings. The plastic mounting does seem to go in a fair distance into the bottom of the wing. Should be looking like a straightforward build. We do get 2 little little rudder fins at the back. They do have cutouts for rudders, but frankly, I won't be doing that. I don't see any value for having the yaw ability now for what we can do with ailerons. For this, to clarify that statement, for this type of model. Let's have a quick look. I can't read that one out aloud. Crash Copter, good. Just a random question. What's your experience like with quads? In short, it was quads which got me into this hobby. I saw a video on YouTube of these 250 frame quads, absolutely spanking it around the woods with these LED bars on the back, and that's what got me into the hobby. I was like, wow, that's really cool. But then I quickly discovered they are not easy to fly. So I started with quads, and then there was a video up from Bruce Simpson from I think it was an RC Model Reviews or his X-Check channel of an AXN glider. My original AXN is still down there. There's there's so much tape on there. It's absolutely unreal. But she's still going today. So I saw Bruce flying these 2, well, not him flying 2, but there was 2 of them flying these AXNs around, and that's what got me into fixed wing and flying wings. So to answer your question, yes, I do fly quads, but when I do fly quads, they're either like a little micro quad for mucking around here in the office or in the house, or chasing the cat around the house, or chasing the kids around the house, or I've taken a 250 quad up to go and take some video footage of some flying wings. So I'm a complete noob pilot when it comes to quads. I'm very open and honest about that, and half the time I fly around in horizon mode, and the reason why I'm flying around in horizon mode is because I'm trying to take video footage, and it means that I can focus on the flying wing or the other model which I'm chasing at that point in time. So really good question, by the way. Bluefly FPV says, did you get the regular size Skyhunter? No, I haven't. That is on my to-do list. Within 2 days or so, I'll get that ordered. It's just busy here with work and other bits and bobs. Let's have a quick look. Kevin, welcome aboard. Let's have a look. And I can see there's some other chit chat going on there. So if I've missed your chat, it's not put on, don't say I'm ignoring you. I will go back and review the chat afterwards. If you are watching the recorded version, remember you can ask any questions in the comments section underneath this video. So we've got the elevator fin, again, by the looks of it, meant for a 5-gram servo. I'm saying 5-gram servos, but I might be wrong. Let's have a quick look. So this is a 12-gram Tower Pro MG90S. We'll see if that fits in there. And these ones, we know that they're slightly taller than the normal ones. Oh, I take that back. That is what I would call a normal size servo. And there's me looking at it. Let me turn that around so you can see it. And you'll see on the camera, there we go. That is, well, I class like a standard 9-gram servo would fit in there fine. Yeah, brilliant. Not the best finish ever, I would say, on here. And that is going to be one of those instances where you need to take the little Futaba or JR plug off the end and then feed the cables down, around and across to the boom. Oh, the one thing which we didn't spot on the boom is getting the servo lead down the boom. So we can do that now. What else do we get in here? Let's get rid of that. Right, we can probably get rid of the box there as well. Yeah, I think that's the end of the box. Let's open this up and see what we get for the accessories. Jay Jones says, for once not watching the recorded version. Yes! You get to see all my screw-ups live. Brilliant. Welcome aboard, by the way. We get... see what I was saying about the lead? That must be the extension lead to go down one of the booms. To be brutally honest, I won't be using the provided one. And the reason why I won't be using the provided ones is I've got some lovely twisted cables. Well, that's one which I've been chopping up to make wiring looms for other models. But let me see if I can twist that up and show you on the camera. You'll notice that's some twisted wire servo leads, super cheap. I bought these off Banggood. I say super cheap, they are definitely cheaper than the normal ones you get. But once you see the insides of these cables, there's 20 separate wires all twisted together, and obviously that's per wire as well. And they're normally really well twisted in as well. It helps with interference and of course less resistance going down, so you end up more power out on the servos, which is obviously a good thing. So it's nice that they've been provided that. That's happy days, but to be frankly honest, I won't be using it. We've also got a Y lead for the ailerons. So you can run your ailerons into a single channel on your receiver. Again, it's really nice that they've been included it, but frankly honest, I won't be using either of them, and will use my own wiring as far as possible. We get a tiny bit of Velcro for whatever that's for. A nice goodie bag of bits. Nothing really to write home about except for... You're going to have to excuse me, I'm just having a nose myself. Where's my knife? Yeah, we got some really nice bolts on there. I'm guessing those are the bolts to hold down the wings onto the actual model itself. Again, this will be a plus or a negative. I know many of you will carry like a Phillips or crosshead screwdriver, and you'll have one of those in your flight bag to hand. By the looks of it, they've included, I don't know, guess a 4mm, 3mm hex bit for those screws. So do look out for that with yours. So that does mean that you'll need to either carry a Allen key with you to the flight line, or make sure you got one of these little tool sets, or maybe one of the miniature ones with all the little adapters on there to get the wings on and off as needed. Because yeah, if we put, well, I'll tell you what, we'll mop this one up in a moment, but it's going to be a fair old size model, and I don't think, to be frankly honest, that you're going to be carrying it in one piece in the car. Well, actually it'd fit in the boot of our car, and again, our car's not particularly big. But I know for many of you, you want to compact it down so that you can at least store it in a small amount of space. All right, I'm just going to say hello. We'll have a quick look at some of your comments while I'm here having a sip of coffee. She Prodigy says, Matt, what is the best GPS for a 450 quadcopter? I also have a Neo 6M and my H-dot is shite. I genuinely don't know. I've not had an issue here in the UK with picking up GPS satellites at all. Now, obviously, in my office is like a nuclear bunker, and you've got no chance in hell of even getting a mobile signal in here. So, yeah, completely crap indoors. But outdoors, those Neo ones have been absolutely fine. You know the ones which I mean, like they're meant for the APMs or the Pixhawk. They've been fine. I've not had an issue. So what I would say, She Prodigy, is maybe go and grab another one. They're not like life-threateningly expensive, so go and get what are they coming? The Neo 6M and Neo 8. You'll have to bear with me. I'm played around with those GPS modules in a while. I'd just go and buy another one. and see if that one improves for you. And also remember the H-stop signal, which you may be getting at home, could be quite different to your flying location as well. So do actually take it to your flying site. Don't necessarily get put off by it being at home. Do also go and check on the flightline as well. RC Speed Racers says, what motor are you planning on using? Now, here's some irony for you. I know exactly which motor I'm going to be using. It's not going to be a mental motor. I will be using the Sunny Sky X2216 1250 kV motor. Now, the reason why I already knew which motor I was going to be using, well, number one, I knew I bought about 3 of them only a short while ago, so I had some spares here. But also, it's the recommended motor for the Mini Talon, which is sat down there. I know that's my benchmark. I know that I can cruise around with about 30 to 40 miles per hour with the Mini Talon and only draw anywhere between about 6 to 8 amps. So that's going to be my benchmark for this model. It's a similar kind of wingspan. Obviously, it's a different airframe type. But I know that motor with a 40 amp ESC with an 8x6 prop is a brilliant combination. Unbelievably, I also run a Sunny Sky X2216 1250 kV on my micro Skyhunter as well. Now, the reason why I run that with a great big 8-inch prop is because I don't get like maximum flight efficiency out of it, especially on 4S as well. But what I do get out of that prop and motor combination is very low noise. So I can take that one up to one of the flying sites or either the like flying club sites, and I'm not going to get all the old guys complaining at me about the screamer which Matt was flying last time. They'll go, oh, what have you done to that model? And I'll fly that one up there, and it doesn't make any noise. It's completely unobtrusive. Whereas that before I was running it with, what was it, a DYS SE2205 2300 kV motor on a 6x4 prop on 4S, and that ripped the sky new one. But it was not, and I repeat, not as loud as an NTM 2836 3000 kV motor, which I also ran on 4S, and I did 1 lap. It was easily over 100 miles an hour. I had it on a tri-blade. I think I put a 4045 tri-blade propeller on it, and it sounded like a jet turbine. It was batshit crazy. Thumbs FPV says, Matt, have you ever checked out the Flight Test Mini Arrow? Thumbs FPV, I'm gonna be perfectly honest with you. I did try out some of the flight test plans, but I really hate building. I'm 100% honest here with you. I've got an FG36. I've got the Twinzoo, which is a brilliant. Sorry, not Twinzoo. The Wombat, which is a Team Legit model down there. That was like the trickiest model which I've built, and it is so beautiful in the sky. And anyway, I've got a FG36 race wing down there. I've got the Twinzoo here. I've got a TBRC Reflex 38 there as well. And I'm going to be honest with you. I hate building, and I did try building some of the flight test models. I never actually built a flight test flying wing. They just won't withstand my kind of flying, which is fast and generally quite hard on the models. I'm sure you've seen some of, well, I hope you've seen. If you've not, hit the subscribe button underneath this video so that you can subscribe and get notified of any of the latest episodes. But have a look back through some of my videos. I fly fast and I fly hard. I have very, very little respect for most of my models when they're in the sky, and I mean that in like a good way. The way which I view FPV in general is that it's video gaming in real life. So I used to be a hardcore gamer, so Team Fortress Classic, Team Fortress 2, Counter-Strike Source, Counter-Strike, and you can tell some of the games which I used to play, and I was pretty hardcore at them. But this FPV stuff for me is fantastic. If I make a screw up, I've got one great big long epic walk of shame to go pick that model up, hopefully not in pieces, and then take it back and then get ribbed by whoever I'm on the flight line with. So yeah, really, really good question, by the way. Blue Flyer says, bin that extension, use twisted instead. Matt, please put a link up to the cables, please. I will, and I do need to go move my mouse on the desktop, otherwise it will go in shutdown mode. Is that I will put links to the parts which I'll be using in the video description after this live session for you. Those will be my intended parts. Now, obviously, those parts may change over time, so do look out for like a build overview episode on these at a later date. Have a quick look. Blue Fire says, guess I'm late to the party. No, you're still here. Camel, thank you for joining. And Thomas says, Matt, have you seen the new 4048 motors on Bangballs? Thomas, no, I haven't. Or 4840, sorry. No, I haven't. Can you do me a favour? Stick a link in the Facebook group for me and I'll take a look after this session. And by the way, if you're not in the Facebook group, a link to the Facebook group is in the video description. There is now over 500 cool pilots like me and you in that group. So, right, I'm going to leave the comments alone, take a sip, and see what's going on. Now, James, actually, this is a question for you. What on earth is this glass fibre stuff for? I got 2 pieces of glass fibre in there, and you saw what I did with the instructions, and they're filed underneath I probably should look at down there. I've got no idea what those are for, to be brutally honest, and pass. Any ideas, James, if you can let me know in the chat? Right, so, sorry, Jim, that's a really nice comment. I'm going to read that one out. So, Jim, thank you. Jim and Matt, I'm waking up to you and I'm thinking I might be going to bed listening to you, not with you. As a more mature participant in RC, I really value your insight and that of others in the group. Yeah, absolutely. The Facebook group really is what you make of it, and I would like to say thank you to what you've been and made that group today. It's a fantastic place to be in there. Blue Fire says, Matt, can we camp at this wild weekender? Yes, that is the goal, to have some on-site camping for a Rag the Nuts Off event. Now, if you'd like to know what that was about, is that if you look at RC Coffee Chat hashed 123, and that's where I dropped the bomb, that we are looking at least doing one Rag the Nuts Off event this year. Obviously, when the weather gets a little bit better, because at the moment it's the United Kingdom of wetness. It's sopping wet out there. Under wing reinforcement, apparently. Yeah, I'll stick those in the bag and take a look later. We also get a plywood tray which has been laser cut out. I'm guessing that goes on the nose area. Right. And before we go, let's take a look at it. Right. I am guessing that piece of plywood fits in there. That's pretty straightforward. Those magnets are pretty strong. Kind of like those. Right. No, it's not the best place to store on it, so I'll file that over there out of the way. Where's those booms which we had? Now, we had a spar which goes down the middle. And I'm probably doing this in the wrong order, but it is what it is. We'll poke that in there. I'm going to turn that one round as well. Where's the hole? Just gently putting it together. And by the way, that's a big tip for you as well, is make sure you fit all these parts together, especially if you intend gluing these wings together, is that you may discover that they really don't go in that hole very well. And no, I'll take that back. It did end up going in there fine in the end. Let's plonk that down on there, and let's turn that around so you can see it. I hope you can see that all right. Yeah, you can do. Putting these tail booms on looks like a piece of, insert your own term, oops, just know what I've just trod on them, which was an ESC. That's what the other screws must be for screwing on these wing booms, and I think that was probably like the biggest negative when it came to both, excuse me, the Mini Skyhunter and also the full-size Skyhunter, was the setup time on the flightline. I know from reading other people's comments about them, that was probably the one pain in the rear, which was said universally across the board. Yeah, I'm not reading that one out. Who was that? Blue Flyer FPV. I did also see someone else's comment on the glue which HobbyKing used on it. Yeah, I'm not impressed with it. I will be going back and re-gluing that myself. I will check to see if goop glue will fit. We'll make sure it doesn't melt this glue and sorry, melt this foam. And now that doesn't want to stay still very well, so I am going to make my coffee mug up underneath there. We got some little fins to go on the back. That looks pretty straightforward. It's a couple of screws, bit of glue, something like that. Right, there she is. That, honestly, on a scale of 1 to 10, this one's going to be complete piece of piss, to be honest. The only tricky bit we got out of this build is probably running the cable down the boom out to the elevator fin at the back. What have we got here? A couple of screws to hold the elevator fin in. A couple of screws or maybe some glue for the rudder fins as well. Put a couple of bolts in there. I am going to check over the gluing on the main fuselage. I'm not happy about that. I will laminate the wings. I'm here looking at them and I will laminate them. And the one thing which I didn't check and I am now happy about, I reckon I would be able to almost, I say almost, be able to fit a L9R in that wing. Because I don't know if those of you which have seen my other builds, I always go for maximum separation. You're talking to like the most paranoid pilot for separation on parts. I will have the Video TX out on one wing, like near the end, and I know that I will be unbalanced in the model. I know that, and I will lose and have to put a little bit of trim in there to make sure the model flies level. But that's something which I'm happy with, because if I've got the video transmitter out on that wing, if I've got the receiver out on the opposite wing, I've literally got the biggest amount of separation between the components. It's just because some of the challenges which I've had. The other reason for me suggesting that you might want to do that with your builds is that basically you can fly further or you can fly with better reception, because yeah, this model was £69, obviously plus postage, I think, off the top of my head, and it is a lot of model for your money. Let's be frank here. I've been nitpicking. I don't like the glue, to be honest, and I will go over and check all the other glue joints and that's just the way I am. And I will go for maximum separation. But coming back to the point I was trying to make a few minutes ago, on a scale of 1 to 10, compared to some of the other builds I've done lately, we'll take the clouds. Jesus, that was about 14 hours worth of build time in that the XUAV clouds. So this one is going to be complete child's play. 2 hours. If I remove the laminating from the equation, probably about 2 hours, completely all up, ready. The FPV camera sorted out and getting that nicely embedded in there. 2 hours, including a bit of glue up time. Obviously leaving it overnight to set thoroughly. Yeah, there's nothing rocket science on this one. I'm really looking forward to fly it, to be honest. It's not going to be a hard build at all. So, I am going to have a quick look at the comments on here. I have no idea what's the prop size we can get on here, but we could probably get a 12-inch prop, maybe even bigger size propeller, and I don't think I've got a ruler. No, I haven't got a ruler. Huge, great big prop we could stick on the back of that one. Just looking at your comments. Nuno says, "Hi Matthew, did you laminate the Micro Skyhunter 2? Now, the answer to that is that I have laminated it. So I laminated the bottom of the fuselage and up around the nose. What I did was I put some of the glass reinforced tape up underneath the bottom of the fuse, because I knew like the kind of weather which like we've got here in the United Kingdom at the moment. So I put some glass fiber tape up underneath, and then I put some clear laminate around just on the bottom of the fuselage. And to be frankly honest, that has been perfect for that model. One other thing which I did do on the Micro Skyhunter, and it was so simple to do, I just felt the wings, it would have been overkill to laminate them, but what I did do is run just some clear sellotape, which I haven't got here now, but I did run some sellotape along the leading edges, and I did tap a branch doing probably about 70 miles an hour, and we just got spun around like crazy, and I couldn't believe it. I picked the model up off the floor, and we had the tiniest little dents in the wings. So yeah, sellotape on the leading edge worked really well, and the only piece which I laminated was the bottom of the fuselage. So great question there. Blue Fly FPV says, will you please do a video on how you laminate the curvy bits of the wings? Sorry. So I'm going to assume that you mean that there's like 3 places which you could mean. So what I would do is do all the awkward pieces first when it comes to laminating, and also make a note, I always work from the back of the model to the front. So the XUAV Clouds, which is a monstrous great big model down there, I started at the tail, and then we work all the way to the front of the model, doing the underside first, and that includes the underside of the wings. And of course, we've done any features beforehand as well. And then I come back again, starting at the back, and work from the back to the front of the model. And the reason why you work from the back of the model to the front of the model is because that means there's no seams. So you imagine if the seams are like that, and this is the front of the model, any water or dirt will go over and down a step and out the other side. So that's why I always work from the back to the front. How am I going to laminate this model? Is that I will do these wingtips first, because they are really quite pronounced. I will then do these ball areas on top of here. Now, to be frankly honest, it looks like a bit of a ball bag to do. I will just cut out a big square and just gently put some heat down and let it see where it's going to crease, and then I'll get in there with a brand new sharp blade, and then I'll start at the back and then make cuts to help put it round. And to be frankly honest, I will probably have to, when I put the bigger sheet on here, I'll probably have to run it up over the edges to make sure the entirety of the foam is covered. So it is going to be tricky there. That little section there where the back of the wings meet the fuselage, that's child's play. One piece in there, and just gingerly cut around and just cut off little tabs around the edges just to make it fold out straight so we don't get any creases. So yeah, really good question there, Blue Flyer. Kevin says laminate with what? 75 micron laminate, which isn't in the box. I will go and grab the laminate. I think it's over here on the side, and that also gives me a chance to nudge the computer mouse, which, apologies, is not here at the moment. Oh, there it is. Complete plain sight. The laminate which I use, I bought that, well, I didn't buy it. Craig bought 2 rolls of this. It's 75 micron off eBay. 2 rolls of this, I think about 14 quid. And I gave, what did I give Craig? I gave him a $5 and 2 servos. Bargain. And it was a really big roll, and I've made a massive dent in it already. I'm quite impressed. I've used loads. I've laminated so many models now, and they've come out really well. So yeah, for 5 quid and 2 servos, which were the plastic geared ones, which I wasn't going to use anyway, complete bargain. RC Late Beamer, hi, just a peek, I'm at work. Good lad. As James says, slacking. Let's have a quick look at your chats on there. Will you give us a setup video of the Eagle Tree? Yes, I do have an episode which I've got where we run through all the basic settings. That was from the Mini Talon, so yeah, I do have some episodes recorded of those. As many of you know, is that I would rather be flying. Okay, but this week the weather's utter pants, so expect quite a large number. I think I'm about 6 or 7 episodes in front of myself at the moment. I've got lots and lots of flight footage being edited and actually waiting to be published for YouTube right now because the weather is so crap out there. As soon as the weather turns good, well, I'm out flying. To be brutally honest, I would be rather flying than making episodes. But to answer your question, Raymond, yes, I do have a setup series of videos for the Eagle Tree Vector. They will come out at some time in the future. It is really straightforward once you learn like the basics of them. They're dead simple to do. I say dead simple. when I publish the full-blown maiden of the clouds, I am exceptionally critical of not the vector. I'm critical of myself because I made 3 mistakes with the vector and the setup of that model, and I am critical of myself very much on purpose so that you can learn from my mistakes. And hindsight is beautiful, especially if you share it publicly so others like yourself can learn from it as well. Let's have a quick look. Don't forget the glass fiber plate. Yeah, I'll to be honest, I'll go and read the instructions and to make sure I'm not missing anything obvious. And that's it. So to recap, happy days. Gone flying in 5 minutes. Good lad. 6316489. Good lad. Flying. Don't muck around on YouTube. If you've got the opportunity to go flying. Go flying. Go and enjoy it. So, with that said, we had, what did we have? A couple of lipos. We had a shed load of propellers. Happy days. We had a 60 amp ESC, one of the Turnigy Plus ones. Really good ESCs, those. I do rate them. And we had something else as well. Oh, we had 230 amp of the HobbyKing blue ones. They worked alright. They've been perfectly fine for me. I've not fried one yet, put it that way. And we had 2 4S batteries. Numpty here ordered a 2S battery. I have no idea why. I swear blind that was a 4S. Oopsie daisy. Boris plate. No, I won't be using iNav. If you want to know why I won't use iNav and probably will never use iNav again ever, is that if you go to my YouTube channel and type in iNav, that was not good times. And I would not risk any of my models ever again with iNav. I'm sorry. I do appreciate those developers have put a lot of time, effort and energy into that software, but I'm afraid it's damaged too many of my models now and I won't touch it. So I have moved on. If those of you looking to use a NAS A32 board with iNav, and those of you which don't know what iNav is, it's flight stabilization and return to home features and possibly an OSD if you set it up. A good alternative, which I found to be personally fantastic, which was Patrick E's base flight aeroplane. There is a video showing that in action over on my YouTube channel. Do go and take your time to watch them, and there is a whole series on there comparing the Pixhawk to Patrick E's base flight aeroplane to iNav. So yeah, apologies Boris, I know so many of you have had good experiences with it, especially probably the later software. It's probably got better, but unfortunately my experiences have not been good, so apologies to the developers. You've seen my experiences, you know why I have that opinions, and again, apologies Boris. If you're finding it good, it's your models, it's your decision. These are mine and it ain't touching it. Let's have a quick look. RC Aviation says, are you going to get the Buffalo? No. In short, I have a Phantom FX61. Absolutely brilliant, beautiful flying wing. And I wish I could get back there to show you some of these models. No, I've got an FX61, beautiful model, nice big wingspan, loads of miles racked up on that one. Yeah, absolutely fantastic. And also, don't forget, I've got the Clouds XUAV. The XUAV Clouds then there, which is a 1.8 meter wingspan model with a VTEL on the back of it. Absolutely brilliant model. So am I going to be getting a Buffalo? No. In short, there are other models like this one, the Mini Skywalker, which I can tell you, it's not a bloody mini model. They were lying to you. So if that is the Mini Skywalker, I have no idea how big the full-size Skyhunter is going to be. I think it's a 1.8 meter wingspan, so it's going to have a huge payload capacity in it. So if this is the Mini, I'm a little bit worried on how big the full-size Talon's going to, Skyhunter is going to be. Now, apologies, I've got me model names wrapped up on there. Blue FPV says, any news on your live streaming? Yeah, it works. In short, I did a quick muck around in here with a quad with live streaming of FPV. The proof of concept works. I've just not, well, when we've been going out flying, the days have been so horrible, it's just not really worth sharing. But I will do a live session from the flight line. You will jump on board with one of the models, hopefully the Team Legit Wombat. and we'll get the goggles on, we'll get the app live streaming from a laptop on the Flightline, and you'll be able to join in with me on a couple of flights for real. And fingers crossed I don't stuff it. A long walk of shame with the whole internet as for an audience. That could be embarrassing. But one of the beauties of doing stuff live, like I'm doing this live right now for you as well. Gary Nutter says, there is a video where Matt's showing your models in Tron history. Sorry, you've lost me on that one, Gary. Let's have a quick look. I have the Anaconda. Jake, I don't know what that model is. Please post the links of that in the Facebook group as well. So the RMRC Anaconda, fantastic model. I don't know what that looks like. Can you do me a favour over in the Facebook group? Say, Matt, this is the model we were chatting about in the Mini Skyhunter unboxing. Please chuck that in there. James says it's 25,000 milliampere bay is just the start of it, and I know, yeah, that is nuts. How fast? Thumbs FPV says, how fast can the FX61 go, and what motor does it use? Right. The FX61 is what I would class as there's me leaning back on the radiator. I would class as a lovely model to fly. Now, I'm sure many of you have seen me absolutely spanking the bollocks off loads of models on the Flightline, but I have this like Jekyll and Hyde personality. I like to fly fast, but I also like to enjoy the experience. And while you're flying fast, you're going from point to point to point to point, back, up, loop, back, next point, and you're going bang, you're just picking up, you're looking where you're going, and that's it. Whereas the FX61 is just a relaxing model. And to answer your question, not particularly fast, to be brutally honest. I will go out on 8 or 9 amps, something like that, and that's on a 4S setup. The motor which I've got on the back of that one, I am pretty sure it's a Turnigy SK3 3536 1400 kV. I'm also pretty sure it's a 9x6 propeller I've got on it as well. I'll fly out with a Multi-Star 5200 4S pack. You know, those cheap ones which we had a short while ago. Brilliant. I've got like 5 of them here now. Brilliant batteries. And yeah, the one thing, the negative which I'd say about the FX61, it's got quite a thick cord. So when you're flying out, you always try and fly out into wind, so that when you come back home, it's just like a free ride all the way home. So when you fly out, is that sometimes you can only be doing like a ground speed of maybe 10, 15, depending on how much headwind you've got. It will cruise around 20 to 30, something like that. Depends how much throttle you're doing. But it does struggle with a decent headwind. But then on the way back, I'm just thinking about one of the recent flights which I had. I did about 20 miles per hour on the way out. Coming back, we were doing like 50, 55 because of the tailwind behind it. And of course, if you point the nose towards the ground, I think we did about 96 miles an hour with it as well. And that was quite high, and just pointed the nose down and gave it full welly. And we did about 96 miles an hour with it. So speed depends what the headwind is, the conditions you're flying in, whether you've got it behind you, in front of you, and how much welly you're giving it as well. So yeah, really good question, by the way. Now, that model's about to fall on me. So we'll stick that one back there. And the iPad's just been unlocked itself, so you'll have to give me a moment, and so we can get back to the chat. So yeah, really, really good question. Yeah, Gary, I do believe that you've hit the nail on the head. Matt, make a video for us to watch showing all your models. Is that any better? Yes, absolutely. And yes, that was a wombat on the radiator as well. Let's have a quick look. That guy, the chat is going downhill quickly. That was very amusing. So well done, fella. And you know who you are. So yeah, I was trying to wrap up If you have any questions about the Mini Skyhunter, I've got her here. She will be on the build bench. First impressions, don't like the glue. That was really shit. But the rest of it looks really straightforward. Laminating it will delay it by a good couple of days because, let's be fair here, it's my model. I want it to last. So I will be laminating it. I don't know if I'm going to laminate the wings in 2 sections or I'm going to keep the wings as one great big piece. I don't know what I'm going to do about that. I don't know if I'm going to put like a little sub connector underneath here for joining the boom wire out yet. I don't know exactly what kit. Well, I can tell you, FPV camera, point blank, Runcam Owl Plus, the best FPV camera I've come across it so far. I will be using one of the Multi-Star 5200 packs inside. I intend to start off, and I say start off because I'm here looking at the back end of this model. So let me see if I can get this fuselage off the wings. In fact, because I've not put any of this together, it's still all going to be in pieces. And again, you are catching me just thinking ad hoc and on the fly here, is that I am looking at this thinking, will the 1250 kV motor be with an 8x6 propeller? And apologies for the knocky noises on there. Is that I wonder, do I have... Yes, I do. Yeah, that is a 1250 kV as well. And I just so happen to have an 8x6 prop on my lap, or down here on the floor as well. I do wonder, and by the way, I've just blown off the desk because remember, we've got really strong magnets in there, and any little bits of wire and other crap, it will end up in the motor, which is obviously not a good idea. Let me grab an 8x6 prop. If that looks like an 8x6, so it probably is. What I'm actually thinking is that we may be able to get a bigger motor sat on the back. Now, obviously, I know that I'm missing the components on the back for that, but what I'm actually thinking, that's an 8x6 prop. That motor's probably not big enough for this model. If you think if I put that around that way round, and I hope you can see that all right on the camera, look how much of the propeller is above the or either side of that fuselage. I've got a funny feeling I need to stick a bigger motor on the back of that. So that makes it interesting. I do know down there somewhere, he says, what we got here? Oh, look at that. We got a 1400 kV 36. No, sorry, 3536. That might be an option. Or I may even need to lower down the kV again on it. I don't know. So James, can you let me know what you're using over in the Facebook group for your Mini Skyhunter? And any of you which have got a Mini Skyhunter, and please do let me know what your setup is. If you're watching the recorded version of this episode, you can let me know in the comments section underneath this video. And anyway, really is time for me to go. And I would like to say thank you for joining me for this live event, and thank you for joining in with the chat as well. I've really appreciated your comments, and I hope that I've been able to answer a good couple of your questions as well. If you've missed this live event, or I've missed one of your questions which you've been asked, please don't take it personally. I've just been trying to focus on getting to have a look at the model itself, which is the Mini Skyhunter, which I can tell you it's not mini by any stretch of the imagination. You compare that to a micro one. The micro ones, the wingspan's about that wide. Give or take a few mil. If you have any questions, please just let me know in the comments section underneath this video. If you've not subscribed yet to this channel, underneath this video there'll be my name, which is Matthew Ogborn. If you click on that, next to that there's a red button which says subscribe. Click on subscribe if you would like to be notified on later updates, maybe about the Mini Skyhunter or maybe another model which we've got on the way to us at the moment. Press the little bell icon and you'll get notified the second that the next episode is out and live. And with that said, I really would like to say thank you. Thank you ever so much for joining me for this live session. I'm glad things kind of went well this time. The last time but one really didn't go very well. And to be brutally honest, this does make editing for me a lot easier because, you know me, I leave most of my screw-ups in. So happy days. It means I don't have to go and do any rendering. So I don't know what the next live event will be. It'll probably be an overview to a couple of models, if I'm honest. If you have any suggestions on what you would like to be able to see in the next live event, please let me know across in the Facebook group. There is a Facebook group called Rag the Nuts Off. A link to the Facebook group is in the video description for you. You'll need to press show more and then it'll be in there somewhere for you. I will go on and update the video description with my proposed setup. Now, I say proposed because that may change. I am now going to go off, see what James is using in his, have a search around the intervals and see what other people are using as well. The unknown right now is a little 1250 and an 8-inch prop on the back of that is going to get that one out. That propeller is going to get a little bit lost on the back of there, and there's massive amount of space between those two booms, so we could probably get a 12-inch prop swinging on the back. Obviously we'll get issues with torque roll, but bigger prop, lower KV, greater efficiency, longer flight times, that's all got to be classed as happy days. So yeah, I'll put my proposed setup in the video description for you, but just be aware it will change. I'm 100% sure it will change over time. And don't forget to subscribe so that you see the evolution of this one from it coming out of quite a pretty box today to off to the maiden, and then we'll go off and do some adventures with her as well. So with that said, for myself, Matt, and the Mini Skyhunter, thank you ever so much for joining me for this live session. I'm off to go and hit the stop button over there, and thank you ever so much. For myself, Matt, cheerios!